Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the stream. And LA doesn't have goats. They're all vegans there. So no cheese, no lamb chops, no mutton. Anyways, yeah, I said I was going to do a video. I didn't. I've been so sore. I've had like one chore to do today, and I still haven't done it, and that's taking the trash out to the curb. I could barely get up out of bed and walk to the bathroom. My muscles are so sore. 5 hours sitting in the truck with an hour and a half to 2 hours of shopping in between. Too much. It's like a full day of just sitting in the truck. Anyway, so operational information as of 8 a.m. What's the 13th month? Sorry. January 13th, 2025, regarding the Russian invasion. As always, they start with glory to Ukraine. The 1055th day of the large-scale armed aggression of the Russian Federation against Ukraine has begun. In total, 140 combat clashes were recorded over the past 24 hours. According to updated information, yesterday the enemy carried out 42 airstrikes on the positions of Ukrainian units and settlements. They used 58 guided aerial bombs in those airstrikes. One missile was used. In addition, Russia carried out more than 6,000 artillery shellings. 126 of those were from multiple launch rocket systems. Russia also used 2,992 kamikaze drones. The aggressor carried out airstrikes in the areas of the settlements of Orishny, Novovaslivka, Vokivka, Veterinary, Minograd, Pokrovsk, Novopil, Makivka, Oleksivka, Constantinople, Novokumar, and Velika Novoselka. Over the past day, defense forces, aviation, missile troops, and artillery have struck one command post, 5 air defense systems, 2 ammunition depots, 6 artillery pieces, and 3 other important targets of the Russian invaders. Definitely seeing an increase in strikes behind the Russian lines. Ukrainian intelligence and ZSU are doing an amazing job finding those locations and taking them out. Moving into the individual directions. In the Kharkiv direction, the enemy stormed position of our troops 4 times in the settlements of Voschansk and Kozacha Lopan. I hate seeing that town pop up because as we go into Kharkiv, of course we know Voschansk. We've seen video of it. It is literally nothing but ruins and rubble. But Kozacha Lopan, let me just scroll right back out a little bit. Kharkiv is down here. Voschansk is way over to the northeast. Kozacha Lopan is directly north of Kharkiv. There is a railroad and 2 highways that run down from this area, and Russia is still trying to push their way into Ukraine in the area of Kozacha Lopan. I hate seeing attacks in this direction because this means Russia still has their eye on trying to capture Kharkiv. That's the only reason to attack in this area. Still trying to get a foothold and capture those railroad and highways into Kharkiv. Moving on from Kharkiv, in the Kupiansk direction, 8 attacks by the invaders took place during the day. The defense forces repelled assaults near the towns of Petropavlivka and Pashkanti. In the Liman direction, the enemy attacked 12 times. He tried to advance near the settlements of Kopanki, Shikivka, I'm having a hard time with this word today. I don't know why. I've done it how many times. I can't even tell you. Prushatrevne. Makivka. Okay, this one I'm going to have a hard time with. Turdrov, Hiblova, Turny, and Zarechny. Going back to the deep state map, Kharkiv, Kupiansk, Liman is down here, but Petropavlivka, Sinkivka is here. All the Russian attacks were in this area, trying to broaden the contact line around Kupiansk. Coming down to the Liman area, Kopanki, Pershatrevna, Makivka, Turny, Zarechny. Liman is over here. I'll give you a wider shot of this area. Liman, Kupiansk, Servisk, Kramatorsk, and Slovansk. Moving on to... Oh, they don't have a service direction today. So that means no attacks in that area, which is always good news in my opinion. In the Kramatorsk direction, 15 clashes were recorded in the areas of Chasiv Yar and Stupochny. In the Torets direction, the enemy carried out 13 attacks near the settlements of Toretsk, Bilohora, and Serebrenivka. Coming down from into the Kramatorsk area, Konstantinivka is here. Kramatorsk, Konstantinivka, Chasiv Yar, Stupochki, and unfortunately, it looks like Russia has finally made advances into Chasiv Yar. It's not the greatest of news, especially with the news that's happening in other areas. Coming south to Toretsk, Shcherebanivka, and Bilohora is up here. But Toretsk is... It's hard to say it's under Russian control, but there are skirmishes happening pretty much throughout the entire city. Most of it is gray zone, with Russians in control of a majority of the city. Again, most of this happening in the last day or two. Add that in with the city of Kharkova. That's 3 major cities that have been fought hard for and unfortunately fallen in the last, since the beginning of this year. It's not the greatest news for Ukraine. I don't know what else to say. It's heartbreaking to see more cities drop, because it doesn't mean Russia's done. It just means Russia is moving on to the next city, and the next city will be reduced to rubble. In the Pokrovsk direction, our defenders stopped 58 assault and offensive actions of the aggressor in the areas of the settlements of Elizavetivka, Lysivka, Zeleny, Promin, Novotrud, Pokrovsk, Udachny, Kotliny, Novoveslivka, Sabrin, Petropavlivka, Novoandriivka, Dashny, Shevchenko, and Yantarny. 58 attacks. Coming in, Elizavetivka, Toretsk, Konstantinivka. Elizavetivka is here. Mirolubivka, Promin, Pokrovsk, Lysivka, Zeleny, Shevchenko, Prishtiany, Kotliny, Udachny, Novoveslivka. Once you zoom in, it pops out. Novo Elizavetivka, Yeznove. Essentially, this entire frontal area, they have combined these areas. So I'm not sure if they were talking about this Shevchenko or this Shevchenko here. And again, Dashny and Jashensky. It's close enough. There could be translation errors. So unfortunately, we're running into a similar situation with very similar town names, and not really sure where they're talking about, but still 58 attacks all along this front line. As you can see, they've moved closer to the highway, the paved road here, and the rail line next to Kontotny and Udachny. This is very worrisome for me. I've seen it in other pushes that Russia has done. They seem to be more at what's the word I'm looking for? They have greater success moving up these rail lines because of the cover on both sides of the rail line than they do in any other situation. So I definitely keep an eye on what develops here. I believe we're going to be seeing assaults coming down and out both sides of this connection to the railroad. So far, a lot of, I'm not going to say bad news, but disheartening news coming from Ukraine this new year. They renamed this area Novopavlivsky direction. The enemy attacked our positions 9 times near the settlements of Constantinople, Nashkushny, Vermika, and Rivnopol. Enemy aviation was actively operating in this direction. Okay. So, coming to the south, Constantinople, Novokumar was one of the settlements struck by aviation. Vermika, Novopil, Nishkushny. So this is the next city that Russia is probably going to make into rubble. I hate to say. Yes, it's a little disheartening news, but Ukraine remains strong and is fighting back as best they can, trying to hold the lines. In the Siversk, Orikhiv, and Guliopol directions, the enemy did not conduct active operations since the beginning of the day. In the Dnieper direction, the enemy conducted one unsuccessful assault. Covered that. So, Siversk, Guliopol, Orikhiv, no actions today, and only one assault in the Dnieper direction. They didn't give us a town where that is located, but usually Russia has been trying to take these islands to have better positions against Kherson. In the operational zone in Kursk, units of the Defense Forces of Ukraine repelled 17 attacks by Russian invaders over the past day. The enemy carried out 443 artillery shellings, launched 14 airstrikes, and used 16 guided aerial bombs. That's a mistranslation. No signs of the formation of enemy offensive groups were detected in the Volyn or Polizia directions. Our soldiers continue to inflict significant losses on the occupation forces in manpower and equipment, and actively undermine the enemy's offensive potential in the rear. It goes into the losses for today. Ends with join the defense forces, Razom de Peremozhemo, and Slava Ukraina. Someone asked me about this a little while ago, of why I use this instead of Razom do Peremozhemo. Let's go to Deep L. And it's two different sayings that are very similar. Together we will win, and together until So you'll see two different spellings. That's an unneeded mo or we. So Razom do Peremozhemo, Razom do Peremozh. Similar sayings, just a little bit different, and depending on who you talk to, the preferred translation. Now, just a little tidbit of information out there for those that were wondering why the different sayings. Let me grab the graphics for today from ZSU Discord. Total combat losses of the enemy, January 13th, 1055th day of the full-scale invasion. Remember, the full-scale invasion started in 2022. This war started in 2014. Today, Russia has lost 1,510 personnel, bringing the total up to 809,760. So getting really, tomorrow will be over 810,000. 8 tanks were blown up today. 26 APVs, armored personnel vehicles. 37 artillery systems. 1 MLRS. 2 anti-aircraft warfare systems. Those are the Books, the S-300, S-400s. Those are used to, like the Books are counter artillery batteries, and the S-300 and 400s are what they're using anti-aircraft missiles to strike Ukrainian cities. It's amazing what Russia does, because their equipment doesn't work for the intended purpose, so they use it for terrorist actions, like attacking apartment buildings. 183 UAVs were shot down in the last 24 hours. 110 vehicles and 1 special equipment. That is Russia's losses for the last 24 hours as of 8 a.m. Moving on from there, let's go to Telegram. And Zelensky's official Telegram, gives a lot of information yesterday. End of the week reports, essentially. But here his address to the people today. And of course, it wants me to download it.
Бажаю здоров'я, шановні українці, українки.
I should have done this before. I never remembered to slow this back down.
Бажаю здоров'я, шановні українці, українки. Сьогодні провів ставку ключове питання розвиток наших дронів, усіх форм застосування наших дронів. Були доповіді щодо виробництва і контрактів від FPV до далекобійних, також щодо рішень, які дозволять більш ефективно знищувати окупанта і захищати життя наших воїнів. Є технологічні пропозиції, які маємо реалізувати. Я вдячний усім нашим військовим, кожній компанії, усім посадовцям, усім волонтерам, які залучені до цієї справи, до постійної технологізації української армії. Була доповідь щодо роботизованих систем, також по артилерії, по нашому власному виробництву артилерії та по наших закупівлях у світі. Передусім снарядів. Важливо, що Україна має хорошу динаміку по виробництву артилерії, і наші власні можливості забезпечувати армію будуть тільки збільшуватись. Сьогодні ж з Олександром Сирським, Анатолієм Баргилевичем, Михайлом Драпатим, Павлом Палісою ми обговорювали кадрові питання, зокрема, призначення нового начальника Національної академії сухопутних військ імені гетьмана Сагайдачного. Це одна з ключових інституцій військової освіти в Україні. І академія точно заслуговує на зміни. Які конкретно це будуть зміни і хто буде впроваджувати їх, вирішимо разом з нашими українськими військовими, з усіма нашими воїнами, які хочуть змін. Для цього у застосунку «Армія Плюс» розпочато відповідне опитування. Там 5 кандидатів на посаду керівника академії. І є можливість запропонувати, що треба змінити в самому процесі навчання у відносинах всередині академії. Особливо важливо, щоб курсанти та випускники академії поділились своїм досвідом та своїми ідеями. Станом на цей час 2000 голосів – це за кілька годин від запуску опитування. Я дякую всім, хто бере участь. Застосунок «Армія Плюс» доступний для усіх наших воїнів. Команді Міністерства оборони України дякую за такий функціонал. Говорив сьогодні з президентом Франції доволі довга, детальна розмова. Ми обговорили оборонну підтримку, різні форми, збройні пакети для України. Ми обговорили інвестиції у закупівлю снарядів для України і також питання розміщення контингентів, партнерів і підготовку наших військових. І, звичайно, глобальна ситуація. Ми координуємо наші позиції. Я дякую Франції, дякую Еммануелю. Ще одне. Підписав сьогодні документи щодо санкцій, указ про запровадження санкцій проти фінансового сектору Росії 140 різних суб'єктів. Ми будемо і надалі працювати з партнерами, щоб узгодити наш тиск. А другий документ – це законопроект про кримінальну відповідальність за спроби обійти санкції. Це багато в чому продовження міжнародної практики ставлення до санкцій. Усі ми розуміємо, чим більше тиску на агресора, тим ближче мир. Санкції – це один з найбільш ефективних інструментів справедливого тиску на Росію і усіх, хто з нею пов'язаний або працює на війну. Цей законопроект буде внесений до Верховної Ради України. Слава Україні!
Героям слава. Covering a lot of information there. A lot of it only pertains to personnel in the Army, like the election of, well, basically having an election for the new head of the Army Academy in Ukraine. You can vote for who you want on the Plus app, the Army Plus app. So only military personnel are able to select that. Choice of 5 candidates in 2,000 votes have been already cast, and that was a couple hours since they launched the survey. Also sitting there talking about procuring ammunition and other supplies internationally, and increasing production at home in Ukraine, which has become very much needed. Like questions with Donald Trump's support. Is it going to continue? Is the U.S. support going to continue? Well, if the factories are in Ukraine and Ukraine's making the artillery shells, the drones, the whatever, it's not a question of support. It's a question of how many they can produce. And of course, increasing that is hugely important. Okay, LJ, I asked you in Discord, but you didn't respond. I wasn't sure which clip you were referring to. I'm going to assume it's this one. Your guess is as good as mine. It's the underground school with windows. Well, it's just a new shelter attached to the school. Visiting a family in Kherson. I don't understand. It's important to see stuff like this, but give us subtitles, something. Okay, so there you go. Sorry for my confusion. I don't know what you meant, LJ. Maybe that was the wrong clip you were talking about. I don't know. I hope I got the right one. Air alert map for Ukraine. Varying air alerts throughout the day. Kiev Oblast, 5 separate air alerts. But Chernihiv has an active air alert that's been going on for 6 hours, 34 minutes. Sumy for 54 minutes. Donetsk for 25 minutes. Kherson for 45 minutes. And Mykolaiv for 45 minutes. Before we go into the videos, I want to make one little change, announcement, whatever. The news section, I'm not doing it anymore. The news, we get the news right from the guys at the front. There's always a weird spin on it, and for the most part, popular news, mainstream news, mass media, whatever you're calling it, they're at least a day behind, if not 3 to 4 days behind. So every once in a while there'll be an interesting article. If there is one, I'll pull it up and have it ready for you guys. But to just generally go through the news, it's not worth it for me. So with that said, let's hop into Canty's Center on Telegram. And you get to see a little bit of a preview as I scroll back through to get to the top, which is the drone report this morning. 110 UAVs were launched. 78 of them were shot down. 31 dropped, did not reach their targets. Unfortunately, leaving one that did. But due to a fall of a downed enemy drone in Sumy, Kiev, Zhytomyr, and Zaporizhzhia regions, there is damages to buildings and of enterprise, businesses, private and state institutions, private houses, and vehicles. Preliminarily, without victims or injured, there's been no updates to this, so thankfully, no injuries, just property damage. I know property damage sucks, but you can fix a building. You can't always fix a person. Another engagement with North Koreans. North Korean troops went on the assault. Special operations destroyed 18 fighters in Kursk. The battle lasted from morning until nightfall. During this time, the Rangers of the 6th SSO Regiment destroyed 17 North Korean soldiers, and one of them blew himself up with a grenade. In the morning, an SSO clearing group moved forward and came across one surviving North Korean soldier. He wanted to blow himself up with the SSO soldiers, but only got himself. Here's the video from the 6th SSO.
Це кореєць! Бля!
Well, that is the video shared to us with the from the 6th SSO. Unfortunately, not the greatest of news, but Iran says they have a new drone. Today they released this video boasting of development and producing 1,000 new drones with a range of over 2,000 kilometers with advanced stealth technology. Separately, the deputy commander of Iranian Air Force stated, "We have weapons at our disposal that have not yet been used, and the enemy is not aware of their existence. Some of these weapons will be tested as part of the exercises we are conducting these days." So whether this is going to go against Israel or Russians are going to test it for them, here's the video they released with that statement. I don't, when the U.S. first developed stealth, there is no sound, unfortunately, but stealth was black, like a matte black. Why would you paint it a nice, shiny, bright color if it's a stealth drone? Any kid with a flashlight just needs to shine it, and whatever reflects the light, there you go. Well, unfortunately, we're going to have to wait and see. Those look very... Oh, I didn't pause it fast enough. These ones, they look a lot like the Storm Shadow missiles. I wonder if they got like some debris from Russia of a Storm Shadow, and this is Iran's copy of it. It doesn't look like thousands. And I'm half looking for like where the mirrors are, so it looks like they have more than they actually have, but that's a Russian trick, not a Iranian one. Well, we'll have to wait and see on that. Ouch. Um, 92nd Brigade shows us some of their video from the last few days. that was the work of the 92nd Brigade. Tula Military Hospital on fire. This is in Russia. There's no mention of whether it was because of a Ukrainian attack or not. I'm assuming not, just because while the flames are coming out the window, there doesn't seem to be any damage in these first videos we see from the outside, just smoke coming out. This is the Russian Air Force military hospital, by the way. So, another angle. And it's hard to see with the smoke, but there was an overhead view with less smoke that is just a picture, but there was no damage, so I don't think it was a drone hit. I think this is just an actual smoking accident. It's why the U.S. has banned smoking in hospitals. Again, no damage seen. I'm going to skip down. Again, video of the hospital. This is later in the evening. So the entire hospital roof is on fire now. And I believe there's one more down here somewhere. Nope, that's other stuff. So, did that one, did that one, did that one, those, that. Some of you guys know Viper from the 422nd. Which is attached to the 42nd Brigade. They're trying to get funds together for a Maverick thermal drone. I believe Blonde Bombsheller has a link for that if she wants to share that in chat. And here is one video from the 42nd today to show you some of the work that they do up in Kharkiv. That was the video of some of the drone operators from the 42nd Brigade. More hospital footage. I showed you guys that one already. Special unit of the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, GUR, nicknamed of Artan, shows everyday combat, assault, clearance, and consolidation. This is Ukrainians reclaiming any little bit of Ukraine they can.
На моїй вулиці давно уже весна. І дуже холодно, немов від висоти. Привіт!
Well, work is done. Time to head back to the safe area. And thank you, Atan Group, for showing us this video. I really like the sword with the trident on the hilt. Okay, I need to go down, and I can't remember if I linked that or not. No, I didn't. So, oops, way too far. Fecal of Slovakia did this speech today telling Zelensky that they should come meet, they should do it at the border, blah, 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 blah. Here's Zelensky's reply. No BS, no anything. You want to meet? Okay, come to Kyiv on Friday. Not all the hype and media wagging that Fecal is doing. Of course, my caption here is "You reap what you sow." These are videos from inside Russia. Footage from the Bryansk region. The Katsaps are suffering from the ATACMS missile strikes. And I got quite a few videos. So
Даром туда 5 штук ехало машин. От завода. Что такое, Анжела?
Да. Аж этот керамзит шевелится. Анжела, ты раздетая, куда ты вышла? Заходи.
So that is Russia finally reaping what they've been sowing for almost 3 years now. Well,
Это
here's more.
ракеты бьют. Глянь. Глянь. А какая разница? Едь, не едь, от судьбы не уйдешь. Глянь.
Now, there is one video coming up where you can actually hear what they're saying. I can't remember which one it is exactly. It might be this one here.
Уже 10 штук, 11, 12, 13,
So 12, 13,
14.
14. So 14 booms so far that person has heard. And the last video I have for you.
Офигеть.
And just
Офигеть.
I can't understand what he's saying, unfortunately. But oh, come on, translate. Okay, fine, let me try it this way. Russia's response. HIMARS missile fragments allegedly fell on the territory of the Kremlin plant in Bryansk. A column of smoke is visible from different parts of the city. This plant was manufacturing rockets for MLRS systems. But yeah, I love that statement from Russians. Fragments of HIMARS missiles allegedly fell on the plant and caused that kind of damage.
Офигеть.
Yeah, well, at least they didn't say it was a smoking accident. That could be it. General consensus says Ukraine has hit so many oil storage tanks and refineries, Russia is running out of fire extinguishing foam. They now have no means of putting out fires. Could be. I don't want to know what you guys are talking about, Adam. That's out of context. That seems very strange. Yes, the Ingalls Air Force fuel supply has been burning for 6 days. I swear that video we watched last night literally had another drone hitting a different area of the plant. God. Shotgun drone went out to say hello to its fellow drones from Russia. Yeah, I've been trying to figure out what the thing was carrying. I just can't. Just something red. Not sure what that would be. But it got tired of taking out its drone brothers and found someone else to go play with. I wish there was audio so we could hear this thing firing off. I wonder what it sounds like. So a little bit of drone on drone action, but it's kind of a compilation footage of different units. Doesn't say which really units in it, but lots of booms.
Oh, we're doing this again? Alright, let's play pretend. Stack bodies high, stack the bodies high. Stack the bodies high and call it a trend. Vodka dreams in the dead of night. Vodka dreams fuel the delusion train, but your math's a joke like your gain on the planes. Oh, such a shame. Oh, such a shame.
Okay, so the badge up here changes for every unit that sent the video in.
Liberation came, cut your map in two. Tried to hold on, but the land slipped through. For every inch a soldier falls, digging their graves, digging their grave, digging their own grave with desperate calls. Oh so brave, oh so brave. Superpowers just a fading flame, crawling to kill for a hand-me-down name. Oh, the Kremlin's plan, such a valiant tale, built on lies, duct tape and fail. Strategic retreat from a capital seat, run away, oh so neat. Hoverson slipped while you licked defeat, a victory sweet but not yours to keep. A glorious push fed when 8 square clicks, enough for a fest with potato tricks. Meanwhile, Ukraine blitzed your pride, took it all, left none inside. Took more in a week than
Okay,
you
I'm
could
liking this
decide.
song.
Hope is a wall, but the cracks are wide. Throwing bodies at walls, hoping they'll break. Fire burns bright when the stakes are fake. For every inch a soldier falls, digging their graves, digging their graves, digging their own grave with desperate calls. Oh so brave, oh so brave. Your superpower's just a fading flame, prone to kill for a hand-me-down name. While the Kremlin's plan, such a valiant tale, built on lies, duct tape and fail. So raise your glass, toast the fools, to the fools, to the fools. Writing this war with rusted tools. Oh such tools, oh such tools. Your victory's painted with lies on the wall, yet here you are so adorably small.
When I get the copyright hit tomorrow for that song, I'll let you guys know what it was. It was a pretty cool song, though. Meanwhile, while the hospital was on fire in Tula, explosions reported in Tula. Supposedly air defense taking out a Ukrainian drone. Play that again.
Ой, блядь.
One more time. I don't see any drone there. Nice big fireball. But, okay, literally a second beforehand. Nothing there. Okay, there's the rocket coming in. And it just blows up. Let me slow this down, like, completely. Nothing there. But this is Russia claiming to have shot down a Ukrainian drone. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I mean, I hear the drone, but there's nothing there. Voronezh in Russia was being hit by drones as well. Well, multiple cities in Russia being attacked by drones in the last couple days. I'm trying to right now. Yeah, it's an old biker joke. I've heard it before. Again, if you have amazing skill at the claw game, you have a job in Ukraine waiting for you. This is Ukrainians using basically a claw game from a drone to demine the road. He got his prize. Sorry, LJ. It's just I used to hang out with bikers. That's not that bad of a joke. And it's one I've heard. So but with you guys sitting there talking about what you guys were talking about, no, it's a good joke. But anyways, with what you guys are talking about and then somebody mentioning Trump, all I could think of was like Putin picturing Ivana Trump, like the publishing her naked pictures on Russian television. And all of a sudden the Barbie song popped in my head. Not the real, come on Barbie, let's go party. The folk song, the parody. Where instead of where it says life in plastic, it said my boobs are plastic. I don't know. That's where my mind went. I don't know. My mind is not the greatest. It's rather, there's all kinds of twists and cul-de-sacs. It's crazy. So just for one more time, Blonde, get that link ready, because here is the 40-second again. And I don't know why it doesn't want to translate for me when I put it in my channel. A group of 5 enemy soldiers took cover in the Staritsa village after our vampire, one of the kamikaze drone types, was exhausted. Only 2 of the remaining scumbags remained alive. They chose life and surrendered. The footage shows them moving towards our fighters. Again, video of the 42nd Brigade from one of the Mavic 3Ts that Viper's trying to fundraise for. And here's the video. Oh, I still have it on slow-mo. Well, let's restart. So there's the Russians giving up. Drone directing them to... Oh, that got loud really quick. To the 42nd soldiers, waiting for them, searching them, and adding to the exchange fund. So, 2 awesome videos coming out of the 42nd, and you know, you want them to keep sending us cool videos where you could see where they're located on the thermal. This is video from one of the Mavic 3Ts in the unit. Viper's trying to get one for his battalion. Yeah, I keep getting those. I keep getting battalion and brigade switched. They'll help them out. Let's give them the ability to send us more videos so we can see what's happening on the front lines with our guys. Moving on. 3rd Assault sends us, well, their greatest hits album for the week.
Давай!
Машина пламенем объята, а вот рванет боекомплект, а жить так хочется, ребята, и вылезать уже очень нет.
А жить так хочется, ребята, и вылезать уже очень нет.
Нас извлекут из-под обломков, поднимут на руки каркасы, залпы башенных орудий. Последний путь проводит нас. На поле танки грохотали, солдаты шли в последний бой, а молодого, а возле танка и вылезать уже очень нет.
А жить так хочется, не вернется или приедет погостить.
Ой, а молодого, а возле
Oh, I got to back that up. Just because. Where is it?
или приедет погостить.
The Russians not know stop, drop, and roll? Do they not teach that to their kids? No, because it would require people actually going to school. Never mind. I answered my own question. I'm done.
Ой, а молодого, а возле танка и вылезать уже очень нет.
А жить так хочется, не вернется или приедет погостить.
completely intolerant of what, David?
Танки грохотали, солдаты шли посередине боя молодого, а возле танка и вылезать уже мочи нет.
А жить так хочет, не вернется и не приедет погостить.
True versus drone doesn't work out very well, does it? Okay. And unfortunately, the last video I have for you tonight, but it is again from the 3rd Assault Brigade, having us ride along with a medical unit. And it has a doggy. Well, start the day, say bye to the dog. Oh, and there are scenes here that some people might find disturbing. Most of it's been blurred out, but there is still blood visible, so.
Здорово.
Good one, David.
Перекладатимем. Оп, вище, пацани, вище. Є.
9 чи 12?
Раз, два, три, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
А, 9.
І 9 вивезли.
Тоді
Да.
так.
Все, тоді всіх забрали.
Плюс.
Все.
Нас двоє.
Всі 9, так? Посчитай.
Да. Що, Лес, як ти?
can go. Yes.
Як ти?
Нормально.
Так. Цей мій. Ага, добре. Добре, рукавичка.
I just realized something. You know what you never see in the Russian videos? You never see an ambulance.
Ти роздітися не зможеш? Давай я тобі допоможу, мені треба твоя рука. Дивись на мене. Добре, сиди і дивись на мене. Набери дексаметазон і дам тобі фізрозчин. Глобус, що прилетіло? 120-та, 82-га? Чи скид? Скид? Добре. Прям в тебе чи що? Йоп, твою мать. Зараз, секунду. Так, що в нього? Пневмоторакс? Ну, може...
Багато осколків.
Окей, і ще що в нього?
І рука от повернута.
Так.
Пакет знятий.
Обставини, що сталося? Скид? Так. Так, осколок, права рука, ліва нога. Так, ліва. Давай, ти можеш падати на мене, тільки акуратно. Давай. Молодець.
Okay, a couple questions popping up in chat. Let me go back to the air raid map while I talk about some of this stuff. With the videos I've seen, Yeah, even the Russians know they're not coming to be rescued, treated if they're injured. How can I say this without YouTube yelling at me? First aid for Russians is preparing themselves a lead sandwich. The North Koreans actually have a little laminated piece of paper with written in Korean on how to make sure that they don't get captured alive anyways. Yeah, the number of, let's say, self-inflicted wounds that I'm seeing that I don't show you guys because, well, YouTube has major issues with it and my channel would get shut down. Yeah, it's sickening, gross, and a total waste of life. But that is how Russia sees their soldiers. Expendable meat waves. It's sickening. See you, Marshall. The mobile crematoriums. After news stories got leaked in Russia about them, and they got rid of them. They moved them elsewhere. And because Russian families hadn't heard from their relatives and were wondering if they were just cremated and nobody identified them. So yeah, it was a big publicity blow for Russia in Russia for Putin. So yeah, they had to kind of remove those, and rather than collecting the dead and burning them, they just leave the dead out in the field now. Technically, they should be, this time of year, the ground should be frozen, not mud. But it's been a very warm winter in Ukraine, unfortunately. Making it harder to build defenses, making it harder to move around for Ukrainians. Yeah, that's the whole thing is, I hate to put it this way, but it's an economic ploy to stave off going bankrupt. Is essentially what Russia has been doing. Yes, they promise these payouts. They do give the payouts, but they delay them by 6 months. Meanwhile, like even regular workers, they don't get paid for 3 months and then they get paid. But during that time, they have to take out loans and pay interest on those loans until they get paid. So, and with the currency devaluing as much as it has in Russia, the longer a business holds on to the money before paying its employees, it's like giving your employees a pay cut without giving them a pay cut. You wait 3 months to pay somebody, and that's a lower value, but the same, like dollar amount, ruble amount, I should say. But if you owe somebody $1,000, but the American dollar is dropping like a stone in value, so you hold on to that $1,000 until like you're 90 days past due and they're threatening foreclosure or whatever, and then you pay it then, because that money's better off in your pocket than in theirs, working for you rather than working for them. And it's just, it's a huge economic game that Russia is playing to keep their economy on life support. If Russia had to pay out all the death benefits, all the back pay they owe the people that signed the contracts, Russia would be broke and economic collapse right now. Because they're delaying it, using those funds to keep things going rather than making the payments when they should. There's one interview I heard where it was 7 months before someone got a paycheck after working for 7 months. Yeah, it's 7 months of not having anything. Taking loans, paying interest on those loans to the same people that are withholding your money. It's well, you don't have it done yet. I've seen the pictures, LJ. So she can yell at me later, but that's the lighter cover she's working on. Well, LJ will know what I'm talking about because you guys are talking about like gyros and goat and how to cook it, and oh, I see how it is. So, yeah, Russia's been playing so many games with their economy to keep themselves afloat. It's hilarious in my mind. It's like subsidizing the housing loans. You guys saw the stories about that about a month ago, where Russia went from like 5% mortgage rates to 35% mortgage rates. Housing's on the verge of collapse in Russia. And if you were in America in 2008, you know what a housing collapse can do to an economy. Pretty much every factory in Russia is building stuff for the war now, because that's the only way you get paid is from the government. It's just, they're on their last legs, and it's really disheartening for me because in my mind, I know that they're running out of time on the games they can play with the economy to keep it going. My guess is 6 to 8 months before you see real economic crises popping up, because they're running out of the funds to keep those games going. Yeah, but the federal government made sure to bail out the Wall Street banks who made all those bad loans. Can't let them suffer. I understand the reasoning for bailing out the banks, and it's not as easy as it was made out in a lot of things. Some people should have gone to jail. The Federal Trade Commission, there's so many people on the Federal Trade Commission that should have gone to jail. It's a broken system in the US. It's never going to be perfect. But yeah, those bailouts should have been like used to forgive loans, but instead they were used to give bonuses to the bankers that were getting bailed out. Like $1 million bonuses. Am I frozen? No, I see me moving. Maybe it's frozen for you. But yes, Russia's playing so many games with their economy. It's crazy. Their housing market maybe has 6 to 8 months. Their housing market goes on top of all the other businesses that have collapsed already. And yeah, 2008, 2009 is going to look like a dream situation for them with all the sanctions and everything. And it's just really bad timing to have Trump going in there at this time with questionable. I really wish Trump would just come out and say what he wants to do, but he never does. He tells you, he changes what he says depending on the audience he's talking to. If he's in front of a bunch of Ukraine supporters, he supports Ukraine. If he's in front of a bunch of Russia supporters, Russia. If he was sitting there talking to the Ku Klux Klan, I think you'd hear some really interesting statements from him. He's not a person that I'd trust with anything he says until he does something. And unfortunately, he was the person elected. You know, everybody sits there and talks talking to people outside the U.S., and everybody sees him as this great businessman. You know, comparing him to Ross Perot. Here's the thing. Trump's no Ross Perot. Ross Perot had a 95% success rate in turning around the businesses he acquired for pennies that were failing. Trump, his father built up a ton of businesses. You know, you could say Trump's father pretty much had his thumb in every pie in New York City and then some other cities. When his father passed it on to him, Trump pretty much lost everything but the Trump Tower. I think it's not quite that bad, but like Trump's businesses have a 70% failure rate when he buys them over. It's like 68.6 or something in the last report I read, but yeah, he was a slumlord, definitely. But it was more than just the housing that he was in. He was in construction. He had a couple of construction companies he was part of. I think it was a bakery, a cleaning supply company. Was partially involved with Hilton Hotels before they bought him out before Fred passed. So I mean, he was into a lot of different things, and the only thing Trump had left after that was the hotels, Trump Tower, and the casino. And Trump lost money as a casino. How do you lose money as a casino? You know, casinos should be, you know, spin the wheel, print the money type of business. And Trump lost money in his casino. I mean, we lose money in casinos all the time. If you go gamble, you're going to lose money in the casinos. But the casino owner, you know, what's the old saying? The house always wins. Well, unless Trump owns the house, then the house lost. He's not a great businessman. He's maybe a good showman, maybe, but that's about it. I've said this on other streams. I'll say it again. Don't get me wrong. I think Trump is going to be a good president if you live in the United States and make over $150,000 a year. Trump will be a good president for you. For 80% of the people in the United States that do not make over $150,000 a year, or pretty much anybody outside of America, Trump's going to suck for a president. It's going to be hard times. Rich are going to get richer, poor are going to get poorer, and you already see it. Just so I have a picture of them in the background. You know, this place. I used to go there for a cheap snack when I couldn't make something I really wanted. You know, that was what built McDonald's up. Cheap food that was, I wouldn't say good, but was tolerable. You know, used to take your kids to McDonald's because you could feed a family of 6 for under $20 back in the day. I was taking my mom to the airport, realized I hadn't eaten, my stomach was growling as I drove down the road. Oh, I'll just go to McDonald's, get a McDouble, you know, something cheap just so my stomach ain't yelling out the car window. $3.79 for a McDouble. 5 years ago, that McDouble was $1 on the menu. Now it's almost 4 times as much. McDonald's ain't the cheap option anymore. You have to be pretty well off to go eat at McDonald's now. By yourself. Can you imagine taking 2 or 3 kids, you and your significant other, to McDonald's? It'd be a $50, $60 bill to go to McDonald's for that many people. Yeah, and they've reduced the sizes too. So you don't get... Yeah, well, greed is nonpartisan, not just corporate. The main problem with McDonald's is their entire business model was built on growth. The main company, how they made money was opening new stores, new locations. Well, they're everywhere. They're in Ukraine. They're in Australia. They're everywhere. There's no new stores to open, no new markets to tap. So the only thing they can do now is raise prices to increase profits. Uh-oh, what are you yelling at me for? Yeah, nothing sold at Trump Towers made in the USA. No, I'm not playing that. I'll play the other one, though. Yeah. Already done, huh? Yeah, $14 at Wendy's for lunch. Jesus criminy. Minimum wage is what, $7.25? So that's 2 hours of work at minimum wage to pay for lunch. Not that anybody makes minimum wage anymore because, well, you can look right there on the sign. McDonald's pays $15 an hour to flip burgers and cook French fries. Is that at the right zoom? No, there we go. But yeah, I figured I'd go spend maybe $2 getting a snack at McDonald's to tide me over until I could get back home to have real food. Nope. Cheap food does not exist anymore in the US. You're going to be eating more and more processed food as time goes on, in my opinion. If you live here, because processed food can be mass produced, even though it's the worst food for you. And one of the reasons I want out of the US. The only thing that seems to be going down is gas prices here in the States. I paid $1.99 for gas last night. Yeah, that was nice. That was a nice break. But then you're paying, $5 for a little tiny thing of fries and a sandwich that's no bigger than the fries. Yeah. Well, yeah. So Australia, at least you're getting real food. Here, yeah, it's questionable. If you ever come to the States, order the cheapest McDonald's burger you can and just take like a little piece of the meat off and taste it. It does not taste like beef. I don't know what it is. The running joke here in the States is it's kangaroo meat. But it doesn't taste like beef. Not any beef I've had, but I've only really had, beef from cows I know. Yeah, I wouldn't, for anybody coming to America to visit from like Europe or Australia or pretty much anywhere else, don't eat at McDonald's. Just get the cheapest hamburger, pull a little piece of the meat off, put it in your mouth, and I guarantee you're not going to eat it. You're going to spit it out. The McDonald's in Poland was better than here. The McDonald's in Ukraine was better than here. It actually tasted like beef. Here it doesn't. I don't know, Ozzy, when you come and visit me in Ukraine, you'll have to bring some kangaroo meat and I can tell you. Yeah, you can go to nice restaurants and pay 12, $15 for a hamburger here, and you can tell it's beef. It tastes like beef. It smells like beef. It smells good. McDonald's hamburgers, it doesn't smell or taste like beef. Maybe I'm special because I could show you right where my beef comes from. Nah, let's go there. This is a feed yard down the road from me. It's a finishing lot. So if I'm like really desperate and don't have much money, I'll order a side of beef from here. Otherwise, I'm not quite sure. Here it is. I get my beef from this guy. You notice one thing though. There's no cows on his front pasture. That's because they're all behind the house. Because this was grazed over. He lets this pasture recover. Well, that pasture's being used, and then he has another pasture on the other side of these trees. Grass raised. So, like back over there is his third pasture, and he rotates his cows to those pastures. A side of beef from this guy will run you about $1,200. Runs me. From the feedlot, it's about $700-800. Yeah, it's South Dakota. Everybody has a guy like that, LJ. Farmed fish, it depends on the farm. You have if you like put a farm right here where you had cycling water. Yeah. If you're doing a farm, I forgot where it is. Humana. Oh. This guy right here. Little artificial lake. They're raising tilapia. And it tastes like mud. Oh, he has native prairie grasses. That's nice. That's so much better feed. The guy down the road from me, 2 of his pastures are native prairie, and that's where he likes to finish his cows. But like that front pasture is when that's it. He likes to use it in the early spring because it's brome grass. Not all of it, McPigeon. There was a tilapia farm down in Arizona when I used to live down there. It was small scale production, but they weren't using ponds. They were using like tanks, and the water was run from one tank to the next tank to the next tank, and then out into the drains. And they'd pump in fresh water from the river. So as that water cycled, that mud taste was gone. They weren't feeding them, normal stuff. It didn't taste like mud to me. Yeah. So maybe wild caught tilapia, but I've never really had wild caught tilapia because they don't exist anymore, it seems like. You have to remember, tilapia has been farmed since ancient Egyptian times. Yeah, tilapia is good with clean water. Well, that's pretty much true with most fish. Clean water, good tasting fish. Muddy, nasty water, mud fish. Canty no like mudfish. Let's give a double check really quick to see if any new stories are popping up. Yeah, I'm starting to hate this on Telegram. I've gotten like 5 of these already today. Hi, I got a job opening for you. So it looks like a new attack happened in Russia.
ебучие, блядь.
Looks like a pretty big fire.
Охуеть. Ебать оно горит. Димон прям ебало обжигает.
Okay, there's there's something I want to show you on Dennis's Telegram channel that I'll let you guys make your own mind up. But sometimes I wonder about him. I'll just say that. Or did he delete it? Oh, he deleted it. That's funny. Oh no, I just had to keep scrolling.
Подбитый, иду на посадку. Срочно на посадку. Горю правому крылу пизда. Да, ЖЭП-16 горит. Сюда, я понял.
If you ever thought Dennis was sane, that just proves me a little, yeah. But this is what the guy was playing. For those of you who don't know, there's a game out there called DCS, Flight Sim. And that's what the guy's playing on that laptop while all this is going on.
Сюда, я понял.
Like I said, sometimes I wonder about Dennis. Yeah, it's DC Combat Sim or Flight Sim is, or DCS, sorry, is very big in the sim community, flight sim community. Literally, you can take out any aircraft and fly over everywhere. You can do combat missions, reenactments on it. There's people that train and just do like commercial flights. I'm just gonna leave it at I wonder about Dennis sometimes, because I know, like, his personal motorcycle, he donated to a unit. His personal truck, he donated to a unit. I was asking myself the same question. I don't understand it, so. But to give you a bit of history, I was sitting there with friends from high school watching a movie one time, and it was a Vietnam War movie, and you know the term they use for the Vietnamese in that movie, in those movies. And I'm like, turned to my friend, I'm like, I don't understand what they mean by that word. My friend, just so you know, there was a running joke amongst my friends in high school. One of my friends was named Lee, had another friend named David, and the third person in that group was also a David. And the joke was, "Hi, David Lee." David Lee. So yeah, it was just this funny little joke because, you know, one friend was David, one friend was Lee, the other friend was David Lee. Yeah, so I'm sitting there watching a Vietnamese war movie with them, asking them what that word that they use for Vietnamese people in the movies was. So yeah, I'm not really all that up to date on that type of language, even back in high school. I think that was just a guy doing a TikTok video for giggles. I mean, I've tried playing DCS, and I couldn't fly this good. Yeah, I'd be hitting the ground right about there. Okay. Yeah, I agree with you there, Mr. Squiggle. He has done some stuff. He's done other stuff. It's, you can't force somebody to donate. You can give them all the opportunities in the world, but you can't force them. Dennis was like my third or fourth introduction to Ukrainian support streamers. Some of the stuff, yeah, I'm right there with them. Some of the other stuff is not right, but like in that video with the guy having fun with the flight sim, did you really need to point out that it's? Did you have to post of? So yeah, he does some weird stuff. And there's a lot of people from Ukraine that you have to realize it's been 3 years for them almost. 3 years of, it's been, three alerts a day in Kyiv. Poltava, there you go, 5 alerts in one day. That wears on you mentally. I can't blame anybody that wouldn't want to be there. I can understand that. It's not good. I help Ukrainians practice English. And one of those guys, yeah, he just spent the last 3 days in Biloturska doing medical stuff for conscription review, basically. Yeah, as he's doing all that, he's been going to a psychiatrist dealing with the crap that coming from, every night waking up wondering if or going to bed thinking, well, am I going to wake up this morning? It wears on you mentally. And even me just being there for 3 months last year, I still jump when I hear a motorcycle. I mean, it's silly to say, but yeah, certain brands of motorcycles sound like the start of an air alarm. So I'll be going shopping and hear one of those motorcycles rev up from a stop sign, and it triggers me, and I actually jump because of it. And that's only 3 months. Imagine being under it for 3 years. Yeah. I understand you're thinking, Mr. Squiggle, but you can make that argument with anybody. Why am I not back over there spending my money over there? Now, I'd love to be back over there. I want to go back over there. Yeah. I found my dream house. I mean, I hate to say this, but I found my dream house in Ukraine already. Come on. No, not an apartment. This is my dream house. Chicken's already running around. I have a fetish for brick. I'll admit it. See, I'm a simple person. Nice, small little village house. I like to joke around a lot. I don't know where I was going with that. But there's a reason I don't show this very much on stream, even though it's like my ideal house that I'd love to buy. What did I do? It kind of hurts me looking at this place. I can't afford it right now. Maybe in a year or two I could afford it, but it won't be available in a year or two. How would you like that for a backyard? I love that for a backyard. Oh, yeah. And just to drive an old point into the ground, Ukraine's flat, even though there's that hill right there. Flat as a pancake. Bullets go for miles. Yes, I have a kink for brick. Now, here's my backup. Still can't afford it, but at least it's a little cheaper, $3,150 instead of $5,000. But I don't know. For some reason in my brain, that detail in the brickwork is just freaking gorgeous to me. I mean, you wouldn't see people doing this type of detail in brickwork anymore. You know, this is kind of basic, but this is a summer kitchen and a root cellar. So, but yeah, that's just freaking gorgeous to me. Yeah, Zolkin's interviews, I used to watch those, and then I couldn't watch them anymore. Yeah, I get you on that, Mr. Squiggle. But even when he was in Ukraine, he had some of those weird beliefs. Okay, I don't want to know where that came from, KKGG. What, McPigeon, you want proof the earth is flat? Okay, I'll give you proof the earth is flat. The surface of the earth is 70% water. 99.9% of that water is not carbonated. Therefore, earth is flat. Yeah, I get the chills too sometimes. Comic relief type of thing. They don't do anything serious, so when you need an escape from watching videos I can't show on YouTube, yes, Rick is awesome. I agree. You want to know the first Ukrainian channel that I watched? I'll leave that one up. The first specific Ukrainian channel that I watched, Pavlo from Ukraine. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the last day of this horrible year for Ukrainian people. And this video, guys, I invite you to join our.
So that Yeah. He doesn't talk about the war very much. You know, if you scroll down, keep scrolling down, go way back. You know, he was doing these videos before the war in Ukraine. You know, before the war, showing us a $2 breakfast in Odessa. You know, this is before the war. Jump ahead because this is just them getting food at the buffet. Come on, go to the table. I couldn't hear how much it was. Well, they gave her 200. He's getting 50, 65. I think he got 75 back. So 120 hryvnia or so. About $3 in change at the exchange rates back then for 2 breakfasts, and this will make you hungry right here. Yeah, 126.39. So about at today's exchange rate, that's about $3. Back then it was about 410. Omelet, green beans, mushrooms. Oh, I miss the mushrooms in Ukraine. Oh, they had such good fried mushrooms. You know, I'm sitting here talking about McDonald's, and used to go to McDonald's for a quick snack for $2-3. And there you go. There's an entire meal for 2 people for $4. You know, Odessa before the war, before the invasion. You know, July of 2021. The last summer. I started watching him because I wanted to go to Odessa, and I came across his videos about Odessa. You know, baby cow getting born, life's a beach. This is all before the war. Yeah, all before war. Ukrainians trying out McDonald's in Kyiv. Thrift store shopping. Trying to remember. So I think this was right before, because it's showing, I forgot the name of the thing they do for Orthodox Church, going in the ice water and essentially baptizing yourself again. That's right before the war. And, well, you guys remember this.
Другий ранок масштабної війни. О 4 годині російські сили продовжили завдавати ракетних ударів по території України. Вони кажуть, що цивільні об'єкти для них не мішень. Це брехня. Насправді вони не розрізняють, у яких районах діяти. По російським ударам, як і вчора, однаково знаходяться військові та цивільні. Мета цієї атаки – тиск. Тиск на вас, громадяни України, тиск на все наше суспільство. Я наголошую, не просто на владу, на всіх українців. І сьогодні ще більше, ніж вчора. Наші хлопці і дівчата, усі захисники України, не дали ворогу реалізувати оперативний замисел вторгнення у перший день. Українці демонструють справжній героїзм. У більшості напрямків ворога зупинили, йдуть бої. Тому атака Росії продовжується із розрахунку, що наші сили будуть втомлені. Але ми не втомлені. Сили протиповітряної оборони України захищають наше небо. Наше українське небо настільки, наскільки це можливо. Авіація ворога підло діє над жилими кварталами і в тому числі в столиці. Жахливі вибухи у вранішньому небі над Києвом, бомбардування, влучення у житловий будинок, пожежа. Все це нагадує перший такий же напад на нашу столицю, який відбувся у 1941 році. Цим ранком ми захищаємо нашу державу наодинці. Як і вчора, найпотужніші сили світу спостерігають здалеку. Чи переконали Росію вчорашні санкції? Ми чуємо у своєму небі і бачимо на своїй землі, що цього недостатньо. Чужі війська все ще намагаються активізуватись на нашій території. Тільки солідарність, тільки рішучість українців здатна зберегти нашу свободу і захистити державу. Армія, прикордонники, Національна гвардія, поліція, розвідка, сили територіальної оборони – усі виконують свої завдання по максимуму. Дуже важливо, щоб сьогодні наші громадяни, всі наші люди продемонстрували також максимальну витримку і взаємопідтримку. Піклуйтесь про своїх рідних, про своїх близьких.
It's weird watching this again. Going back in my mind, I remember, like, literally the night before, just like now, sitting here going through the computer, planning my trip, planning where to go. Who do I need to call to make reservations? When do I want to go here? When do I want to be there? And I went to bed at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I wasn't paying attention to the news. I was looking at Google Maps and looking at hotels. I went to bed and hadn't even realized that the war in Ukraine had started. It wasn't until I woke up the next morning that I heard the news. And my vacation was thrown out the window.
Близьких, але не забувайте також про людей, які поруч з вами. Тих, хто самотній, хто старшого віку. Допомагайте їм, допомагайте з продуктами, допомагайте знайти укриття, коли діє повітряна тривога. Допомагайте з доступом до перевіреної офіційної інформації. Зупиняйте ворога всюди, де ви бачите. Доля України залежить тільки від нас, від українців. Ніхто інший, окрім нас, не буде керувати нашим життям. Ми на своїй землі, за нами правда, знищити наш характер не вийде. Ракети «Калібр» безпорадні проти нашої свободи. Росії все одно доведеться рано чи пізно говорити з нами, говорити про те, як закінчити бойові дії і зупинити це вторгнення. Чим швидше розмова почнеться, тим
The second day of the invasion, Zelensky is talking about peace talks. What has Russia been talking about every day? No peace. Give us the loot. Give us what we want. Since day 2, the morning of day 2 of the invasion, here's Zelensky talking about Russia. Well, we need to talk. Let's talk about ending this invasion.
меншими будут втраты самой России. Уважаемые граждане Российской Федерации, как я уже и сказал, сегодня ночью начали бомбить жилые кварталы города-героя Киев. Это все напоминает 1941 год. Всем гражданам Российской Федерации, которые выходят на протесты, хочу сказать, мы вас видим. Это значит, что вы нас услышали. Это значит, вы нам начинаете верить. Боритесь за нас, борітесь проти війни. Шановні громадяни України, захищаємось, не зупиняємось. Слава вам, слава нашій армії, слава Україні.
Героям слава. That was Zelensky.
І взаємодяни наші.
Just want to do this because most people don't realize this because it happened over time.
Бажаю здоров'я, шановні українці, українки.
Let me resize. This is what 3 years of war does to a man. You know, still has a little bit of baby fat like me. Do you think he lost all that weight because he wasn't eating as much? Stress. You know, I don't think this man has had a good night's sleep since this video. But yeah, that's one of the first specific Ukrainian content channels I found. And that was because of the Odessa videos. And I wanted to go to Odessa, visit the castle down there. You know, just shows you the day in the life of living in the village. Goes to Venetia, goes to Odessa, and even met with Johnny FD. That video is how I found Johnny FD. one of my favorite videos of his. In the US, we call this punky wood. It's like half rotted wood. Throw that in the smoker. Get it going so there's a nice ember on it. Put the lid on. But yeah, I'm a beekeeper too.
So 25
and
years old approximately.
That's a beautiful thing right there.
Frames from this old one into this newer.
Transferring the bees into a new box.
Такий він слабий. Нормально. На це время.
You see the bees sitting there right there on his hand. Not stinging him.
A lot of bees, but the most important is to be calm and to show them that you're friendly so they won't bite you.
В перчатках я не можу.
То будуть люди писати, що ми ці
Не чувствуєш.
мазохісти без маски, без перчаток. Yeah, so usually
For 99% of the time when you're going into beehives, if the bees are not African for one, yes.
safe.
But the bees are used to being worked. You work with them every week.
Owner, so they want
do your inspections, do your feedings. The bees know you're not a threat. It's only when you go to collect honey that they get angry.
І тікати. Типа пожар, горить, там дупло, чи ще що. А як набирають зобики меду, вони тоді не так кусаються, тому що живіт повний. На вулиці, поняв? Це за того, що коли время є, і таке сонечко наче.
Is that ladybugs in the old hive?
The weather is warm, but actually it's +3 or 4 outside now, and the colder weather, the more calmer bees. The hotter weather, the more crazy. Right now we're going to take new frames.
Skip ahead here, but yeah, this is a little bee yard right out of his house. Everybody's like, well, aren't you afraid of getting stung by bees, having bees so close to your house? Trying to see if there's one where it shows his house in the background.
Worm isolation from old pillows. Yeah, you can use everything.
And I think it's right here. So there's his house.
Coming.
There's the bees.
Still, yesterday we had snow. Today it's sunny.
So there he is in his house, looking out the window at the bees.
Now we'll add more frames into this beehive. It looks like it's
So like American hives, they go up.
Actually,
The Ukrainian hives, they go sideways, kind of like a top bar, but they have the frames. I got to go to a bee yard while I was in Ukraine last spring.
Просто розгоним будуть дикі пчоли. You can see the condition of old beehive, but it's still pretty good.
Yeah, the wood's still good. Just take a torch to it, get all that old stuff out, make sure there's no diseases transferred over, and you can reuse that box.
The layer of
It even
worm
gives the bees a pillow.
isolation from old pillows. Yeah, you can use everything. Like the sweater, t-shirt, pillows, whatever you have. Все, готово.
Да.
Done.
Here comes the flame. Hey, told you. I need to get off this. I could watch this all night. No. If you're going to be around bees, there's two things to remember. If stay calm and don't eat bananas. There's something with the smell of the bananas that is similar to one of the pheromones that's an attack trigger for the bees. But yeah, my search, that's my search when I go to look for places. Well, I also do this. Well, it narrows it down quite a bit. So there's a lot of places out there. 1,628 bucks. And these are just the ones that get listed on Dimria. If you go out into these villages, you can find old houses that they're trying to sell for $500-600. Just to show a point. Actually, I should reset all the filters and just do maximum of 1,000. So yeah, that really cuts it down. There's one down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 houses for sale in Ukraine for under $1,000. And that's what's listed on this website. And they're not trash places. A lot of them will probably need work. Yeah. Well, yeah, it needs work, but it's $1,000. There you go. Nice backyard, garden area. You want to live cheaply in Ukraine? It's doable. I want to see this place. Because this is a lie. It's not $1. I can guarantee you that. This is a trick to get people to look at it. Nice mountain in the background. Yeah, it doesn't even tell you the real price. Just list it for $1. And so CGI drawings is kind of weird. Looks like they were building it, ran out of money, or left Ukraine, and are trying to get rid of it now. Be interesting to see what the real price is, but up here by Chernihiv. Or, oh, this is a little too close to the Russian border for my liking. You know, not in... Okay, that room's a little trashed, but the rest of the house seems okay. The barn is gone. Over here in Poltava. Yeah, that wall needs a little help. But $1,000. What's this one? Oh, again, $1,000, a little bit over an acre of land. Yeah, it looks like it's been abandoned for a while and just, you know, trying to get something out of it. Not a bad place. Not for $1,000. Oh, okay. I think it's time I need to go eat for today. My stomach's starting to growl. I don't know if the mic picked that up or not. Hey, Golby. Ukraine's cam expert. Okay, I'm gonna make everybody hungry before we go. Get back to YouTube. So all you have to do is type Ukrainian food. See if I could find this channel without food around the world. Here we go. Life in the Carpathian Mountains.
Ой, чорна, яся чорна.
I'm already hungry. Let's see. Well, if you guys want to see the whole video, here you go. I'm going to say goodnight and go do some of that myself. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you for supporting Ukraine. Have a good night. Stay safe, everybody. Yeah, I saw that, Ozzy. Just want to go over something really quick before I end the stream. Translate this to English. So they didn't even put out the operational information for yesterday. They put out today's at 8:10 Ukraine time, which is in about an hour, 15 minutes or so. So when that comes out after I eat, I'll do the video on the operational information for the 14th. Get that loaded up and published. And tomorrow night, it will just be a video live stream. And I'll probably run that after Nick's show tomorrow and interviewing Merck. Have a good night, everybody. Now if I can just stand up. Oh, God, that's going to hurt. I'm not doing that on stream.